as well. You ready for this?
Yes,
Yeah, good. But this is the 60th, 60th. How do you? Oh, fuck,
60th.
60th. SharQ Talk. It's going fast.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many? Oh, well, 60.
Yeah.
In how long?
Since March last year. So yeah, going good. Next week I have a new one, so it's gonna be
Keep going.
keep going. And yeah, let's introduce you. Let's introduce
Yeah.
the place where we are, and
So,
let's go from there.
I am Patrizio Bucci. I am a dancer. I come from Italy, Rome, and I work for a dance company which is named Dansgezelschap Maastricht. Said Dutch. And we are now in the canteen of our dance studio, and it's located in an old factory. And the name of this place now it's AINSI Maastricht, almost at the border with Belgium.
That's a great introduction. I couldn't have done that better.
No,
We're gonna to speak English because
Yeah.
that was all the Dutch you speak, or do you
no, ik kan een beetje Nederlands praten, but we're not gonna do that. It's gonna take too long for me to find words, and no, English is better.
Yeah. For everyone that's listening, you can also watch because we are recording this again, because that's possible sometimes. And sometimes you will hear a car or a bus driving because we have the windows open because it's way too hot to have this closed down everywhere.
32 degrees.
Yeah. But you're from Rome.
Yes.
Isn't there a nice weather?
Yeah, but we also have air conditioning everywhere, and buildings are meant to keep the heat away. And here in the Netherlands, I guess it's the opposite. They were all built to, keep the heat.
Yeah, because most of the times it's not 32
No.
degrees.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, it's but we have a nice view. I mean,
over the Maas.
yeah, it's one ugly M on the other side, I think, but for the rest, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. For everyone that doesn't know Maastricht or doesn't know this area, it's not a flat like the rest of the Netherlands. A little bit of hills, a little bit of trees, a little bit of green.
Yeah.
Looks good. And then you have the NC and the factories and the things that's also here. So it's a combination of both. So if you want to come over, visit.
It's a nice
Limburg,
city.
yeah.
Very cute. They call it the Paris of the Netherlands. So
Is it?
that's how they call it. Some people.
They just told you.
Or tourist books or something. Yeah.
Yeah, to just get the tourists away from Amsterdam. Yeah, it's a good thing. No, it always is nice to be in Maastricht. I mean, I've been here a lot of times. I was here 2 days ago, but then just to the cinema, sat in the cinema for 2 movies and walked out again. But still, no, Maastricht is always nice to be, and nice to have you, and nice that we met. No, we didn't meet,
Not really. Yeah.
but I made pictures again. It's the same story with Jake, the other podcast. I just made pictures, and for the rest, yeah, the rest of the contact is by Instagram in this
Yeah.
case. But you said Sally Dansgezelschap Maastricht.
Yeah.
That's the full name.
Yes.
But in my mind, it's still somewhere like Project Sally.
Yes.
But I don't know where that came from.
So that came from, that was the original name of the company.
Okay.
And because at the beginning they started with, it wasn't a full-time company, as in the company wasn't working the whole year long. And also a project, in a way, I think it was meant to make people understand that they would do projects, but also it's like the name Sally, the directors always say that it's like they refer it to sailing, to go on an adventure.
Okay.
So it was a project like to go on, like to move forward. And but then people started thinking, when the company actually settled down in Maastricht and we started working full time all year long, that the project Sally was only a one-time thing. So we had to change the name in order for people to not think that we would do one production and that we would disappear.
Okay.
So now it's Sally.
Sally Dansgezelschap Maastricht.
Yep.
To keep it in Dutch. But in my mind, You're from Rome.
Hmm.
That's a long way to Maastricht.
It is.
How did you end up here?
So it all started 8 years ago. Well, it started before when I started dancing, but
Let's start there then. No
yeah,
problem. Yeah. Tell the whole story.
the whole story.
We have time.
Okay. So I started dancing when I was 11 years old, and I don't know why. I just one day I said to my mom, I think I want to start dancing, and I have no idea why. Also, I have a twin brother. We used to do always activities together, sports together, and then suddenly we divided ourselves. Went dancing, and he went doing volleyball.
Okay.
So, but I have no idea and no memory on why I said that. And then I danced for 8 years in Rome in a school called Balletto di Roma, who also has a company next to it. And after 8 years, I graduated. And in Italy, we don't really have dance academies like in the
Okay.
Netherlands. I mean, here you have, I think it's like sort of a college, like after your opleiding, you go then to Codarts, AK, Fontis,
Yeah.
Artes. And in Italy, we don't have that. So actually, when I graduated, which was the same year as when I graduated in high school, then if I wanted to keep going, I just had to find a job. And I didn't, so I started university, something with engineering. And then one day I decided to do an audition for a dance company in Rome, and I got in. So I started dancing professionally, let's say. And after 1 year and a half, so the conditions in Rome are not that great, or in Italy in general. Or you enter like a big company, which is difficult, or you find yourself in, I mean,
The mediocre productions.
well, it's not really that. It's also, I had a contract that was like, first of all, I didn't really sign a contract, and I was getting paid 50 euros a performance.
That's shitty.
And rehearsals not paid. So there were periods where I had shows and that was fine, other periods where I didn't, and then I had to Fortunately, I'm from Rome, so I was living at my parents' place at the time. So that made it easier. But at one point I was like, okay, if you really want to do it, then you need to change the game. And fortunately, I met a teacher in Rome who used to work in the Netherlands. And he told me, what are you doing here? Just go there, let's find out something. So he helped me find auditions. And in 2011, July, so almost really 8 years ago,
Yeah.
I moved to Groningen. And I danced for Netherlands Dance.
Okay. Yeah.
And I started there as a stagiaire, but even though I graduated and I was sort of a professional in Italy, the only way to move was also, to accept anything that would come by. So I accepted the stagiaire contract, not really knowing the company actually. And then I stayed there. After the stagiaire contract, I got a contract in the company. But unfortunately, the company closed, shut down at the end of 2012 because there was a financial cut to the arts. And since then, I got asked from Ronald Vincenz, who's the director of Selly, together with Stefan Ernst. I got asked to join Selly. And since then, so 6 years ago, 6.5 years, I'm with Selly. So quite a long time.
Okay. Let's take some parts back. You start dancing at 11.
Yeah.
Is that like, you said you don't know where it came from, but what kind of productions do you then do? Is that more like training things and small school-like
Yes,
things?
I
Or
used
is it
to.
like already in...
No, it's not on a professional level.
Okay.
And I started with modern dance only. So I used to go to school like 2 days a week, but it's more like, hobby kind of school. It was like 1 hour and a half class, 2 days a week.
Okay.
And then because I was a boy, the teachers and the directors pushed me to also go into ballet in the same school and to do more things. And at the end of, throughout my process in that school, I found myself going to normal high school in the mornings and then go to the dance school and stay there the whole afternoon until 9:30 a.m., like at night. And that's all I did until I was 18.
And then you still need to do your homework after that.
Yeah, well, you find way to get around it. No, I was smart at school. I would actually take notes when teachers would explain and not play around. So then it was easier for me before like
Okay.
tests or things to just check on my notes and say exactly what the teacher said in school. Like
That's all you need to say. If you can repeat
it worked
things in
fine.
school, you will get your degree.
Yeah.
But as you said, you did modern dance, ballet, and is that for me? I don't know shit about dance,
Mm-hmm.
so for me it's like it's all. I know the difference a little bit, but go on. Is that difficult to adjust as a 11 years old or some
I
years
was
later?
when I started, I was terrible. I was really not a good dancer. But yeah, you have to work with it. And I started with modern, but of course, people think, and I also think that in order to know your body more, maybe it's easier to. What can help is to dance and to study ballet, just because in modern dance sometimes and I used to not study modern techniques. So it was literally a class given by a teacher that had our modern techniques background, but wasn't giving that as a lesson. So then to go into ballet, you really study the basics, where the dance comes from. All the terms also we use here at Sally or anywhere in the world about dance, they're all ballet terms.
Okay.
So there's an understanding behind it, also about your body and the possibilities, like how much can you rotate a leg, how to lift a leg. Those things, you mainly study them in ballet. So it is necessary as a dancer, I think, to have a ballet background. Maybe you don't have to be a ballet dancer, but I think it's interesting to know that.
It's good to start there, or at least
Yes.
had a peek there and see what happened.
And they said, I mean, I remember the teachers were going to my parents and saying, like, yeah, if he really wants, he doesn't know if he wants to do this, but if he is gonna do this for his life, then I think he should study more, not just do modern classes and hip hop because he has fun. They saw the talent that I did not see, I think. Yeah.
That's why other people can say that
Yeah.
sometimes, and for you it's like, okay, okay.
But to go
Well,
back to your, you said you asked if it was on a professional level, and it wasn't. It was a school, yeah, a private school actually, because we don't really have academies in Italy. I mean, there's a few, but we used to have. They tried in the school to create like a youth company also, and so we had the chance to perform in theaters, and of course that's also the end of the year show, which is like only for the parents and friends
yeah.
to come watch, nothing really professional. But then with a selected group, I remember we had performances with the choreography set on us, and that was nice. First experiences outside the end of
And how big of how many people are involved at that moment to do that? How many dancers or
dancers. I think we were about 15,
okay?
15 dancers. There was an audition, but I was a boy and we were not many, so of course
You get in.
yeah. And then I think there were like 5 different choreographers. Then we would work extra hours. So apart from going to school, to the dance school, I remember being the weekends in the school trying to learn those choreographies.
Oh
And
shit.
now I would take all my time, literally. Like, and my friends were also, especially my dancing school friends. We would spend so much time together there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that necessary to go into this level? Do you
Well,
need to do this for so many hours?
I think
To
yes, yes. Um, Also because then you understand the dedication that is behind it, and it takes time. It really takes time to. I'm still now, after dancing for so many years, I'm still learning new things. And if you're not really convinced on what you're doing, and you really don't go deep into it, I don't think you'll understand the mindset that can help you in being a dancer, because it's a difficult world. Like,
But then you're in Rome. You're a young kid, growing up. Uh, you said modern dance, the ballet, the hip hop. Uh, is it at some point that you said for yourself, like, I want to go into that direction and want to drop the rest, or is it like
I
you?
knew that I was not going to be a ballet dancer almost from the beginning because I'm short. And in Italy, usually there's the canon of tall ballet dancers, which is not the case in the world. Like in the rest of the world, there are some short ballet dancers.
Why do you
But
need to be tall?
because there's the rate. If you think about a ballerina on point shoes, she's probably higher than a girl on heels because she's standing on her toes.
Okay.
So then visually, like ballet, it's at times also something that is visually pleasing. So if the man is short, I mean, you have to find a short girl. But also, I remember auditions for ballet companies in Italy would say the boys had to be taller than 180, and I'm totally not. Like,
Oh shit.
I'm 174 maybe or something. Yeah.
So then it's just like,
I knew that that was not going to happen, and I also, although I graduated in ballet, and even though I really like ballet, I knew that that was not happening in my life. Also for my possibilities as a dancer, I cannot do 5 pirouettes and no double tour en l'air. I can attempt it. I might land, but not perfectly.
wait, the pirouette I know, but the other one is.
Tour en l'air is jumping in the air while you're turning.
Oh shit! No.
And
Okay.
there's a double one where you do 2 turns. I think I can do that, but I can land, but I don't land as you're supposed to.
Okay.
You know, like, and
Just flat on the face and that's it.
well, hopefully not, but yeah.
That's like me, but I don't even when I jump, I will fall on my face flat, so that's no problem. But when you decide that you don't want to go that direction, is it like, how many plays can you do? How many shows at a year, or how many productions? I mean, if you're
What
in
I do
Italy-
right now, for example?
No, back in the days when you
I don't know if I understand what you mean.
you did the modern dance, the ballet, and the hip hop, is then you can do 3 productions a year multiplied by the shows they perform? Or
Well,
it's like,
it was a school, so we didn't really have shows. It was more like just training throughout the year and then
Okay.
the end performance. And we did have some shows, but it was one show with everything in it.
Okay.
So it wasn't, yeah. But also the school wasn't. There are some dancers that are now dancing in the ballet world, coming out from that school, but mainly we are all the ones that are still dancing. We are all into them. I mean, I think 75% is in the modern world, and the rest is in the ballet world.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you came to the Netherlands, to Groningen, and is that like one you have to transfer from Italy to the Netherlands, so that's a lot of differences, but we can speak all English, so that's all good. I think school will be English as well, or the internship you had there, stagiaire. Is the dance different? Is the production difference?
I was surprised because the company where I used to work in Rome before moving to the Netherlands, it was very static. Like every dance company, I think nowadays, or every choreographer has his own style. And so the style of the dance company I went to work for was totally different from what I learned in Italy. But I was happy to leave Rome, also because I had some personal issues and I kind of wanted to fly away. So I didn't even think twice about it. And I really wanted to dance, so that was also a reason. But then when I entered the dance world in the Netherlands, I understood that there's so much more research than in Italy at the time. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that there was a thought behind every movement you were making. We had great teachers that were explaining you how to use your body to the max. So it was a whole process to get to know, well, me as a person, because I moved from Rome to the Netherlands, and also me as a dancer. I learned so much since I'm here that I'm grateful. So yes, it was a bit hard at first, but I don't regret any of it. Yeah.
I can understand that you don't regret it, because it's amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
And when you came to the Netherlands, were there bigger productions? Was it like one big leap one big jump into it all, or was it like growing and starting small things?
I started as a stagiaire, and actually in North Netherlands Dance, in the company, what was beautiful about it is that the first half of the year, so it was an internship of 1 year, and the first half of the year we would dance with the company.
Okay.
And then the second part of the year, the stagiaires would do their own production. So it was nice to be first into the world really of the company, and we literally were in the work, because sometimes stagiaires in dance company, they're just learning someone else's role and maybe not dancing it, but
As a stand-in, or
yeah.
okay.
And but we were lucky. I mean, I was lucky to be actually in the show with the other dancers, the professional dancers that I looked up to, and so it was a bit of a like a throwing yourself
Yeah.
into a new world and being on stage in front of filled up theaters. Yeah. And then the second part of the year, where you already learned how the company works. Then we were at the time 5 stagiaires, and we had to create our own. I mean, we learned already set choreographies, but we had to perform only us 5. And that was also actually demanding, because we had a performance of 45 minutes where you never go off stage dancing the whole time.
That's hard.
And it was beautiful, because you, as a young dancer, like that, I think being on stage is what gives you also stage experience. I mean, you can be in the rehearsals and dance in the studio, but how to communicate what you're doing and how to actually go for it,
Get
you're
the
probably
feedback and
only learning on stage. Yeah.
could you? You said you learned the choreo- choreo-
Choreography. Yeah.
I can't even pronounce it, not even in Dutch.
It's a Dutch problem, though.
Oh man. Sorry if I'll fail during this talk sometimes on my English, but yeah. But you learn all the steps and everything around it. Is there any? Yeah, that's stupid to ask, but I always have to reference to the music industry or the movie industry. Any example? Is there any dancer or movie that you're like, okay, if we learn this, it compares to something else, or something you look up to, or is it more looking up to the?
I used to. What I really used to look up was the older dancers in the company.
Okay.
Like the way that their experience, the way they knew their bodies, and their confidence in their work. That was like what I really looked up to. And yeah, I mean, you of course you have dancers that you love and you admire, but I think I was more focused on reality and what was in front of me, and because they say that the dance world is a very competitive world, but my experience in the dance companies I worked for so far, which are not many, in the Netherlands only 2, but I feel this actually community feeling, like where the
Doing it
older
together.
dancers share their knowledge with the young ones, and
Okay.
you can learn by watching. I mean, it's so true. Just by watching someone else doing something, you can learn from them, and that was I think what I looked up to.
And you could use that also in your second part of the internship,
Yes.
where you had to perform yourself.
And we were also followed. We had our
Okay.
own repetitor,
Yeah.
which is actually Ronald Vincents, who's the director of the company and the Netherlands Dansdagen Festival. And so there is someone guiding you through the process. So you're not just left by yourself. No, you to learn the steps.
Just go there, do this, and we'll see
No,
you
there's
in
a lot
half
of
year.
coaching
Okay.
behind it. So yeah.
Okay. Then that the cutbacks came
Yeah.
in the arts industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was about to go back to Rome.
Yeah. Was that the plan?
I packed everything. I was going to Rome for good. I think I still remember. I think it was the 14th of December, 12th, 14th of December, something like that. My parents came to watch the last performance, the gala, the end gala of the company. Tears and hugs, and it was very devastating, but also like a moment of growth, I think, a realization. And my parents, I remember, they came with empty suitcases to take all my stuff, help me take all my stuff back with them. They packed everything. They left Groningen. They went on the train to Schiphol, and then I got a call from Ronald saying like, "Hey, do you want to join the Sally?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." But yeah, so I went to Rome. I was meant to be there forever. I mean, I don't know. And then 2 weeks later, actually, I came back to the Netherlands. Yeah.
So you celebrated Christmas over there and came back.
Yeah, bittersweet moments because, of course, my family and friends were happy of me coming back to Rome, but I was also happy that it wasn't all for nothing and that someone also believed in me and called me back to work for them. Yeah.
That's why you put so much effort in it, and being the trainee and making the steps you needed to make.
Yeah.
Um, when did Sally start? Is that the same period of time, or were they
No, Sally
already
started
around?
earlier. I think I might be wrong that it's 12, 13 years old, the
Okay,
company.
okay,
Yeah, because we had a anniversary, like a 10-year anniversary, I think 2, 3 years ago.
okay. So yeah,
So yeah, something
12,
like
13
that.
years.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe a small bridge, but uh, did you perform in the Sinterklaas production in the
I
AC? I know they performed in the AC, but
High Compt is the production, I
yeah,
think. I did perform it. I'm not sure if I was there, but I did
once.
perform it.
Okay, because that was the first time I saw Sally
Yeah, how many
project.
years ago?
That was that production. So if that's
But it
big,
was because there were multiple reprise of that. Do
oh
you
shit,
remember how many
I don't
years
know.
ago? Kind of.
I can find that maybe somewhere on my hard disk
Wow.
because I made pictures there, and that was the first time I was like, "This is amazing." This is it. I mean, I go to theater a lot. I
Yeah.
go to concerts a lot, but not a lot of dance productions or theatrical productions overall. Most of times it's comedy or music
Hmm.
or something and something like that. And I was looking at that and I was like, how they move, how they act, how they know how to not speak and still tell the story.
And it's the production with the boxes on
Yeah,
your head, so
exactly.
you
Yeah.
don't see. I mean, maybe for the viewers,
Yeah.
you don't see the faces of the dancers
No.
ever until the end.
Yeah, exactly. But still, you can tell the story
Yeah.
without having that. So it's all body language
Yeah.
and what you do interact with each other. And I think the kids were coming on stage as well, something like that. Or that was a different part of the same day. I don't know.
Might
That's a
be in the
long,
workshop afterwards.
maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't remember. Yeah.
Um, but that was for me the first time, and it was full of colors, and it had a lot of great lighting. But as a dancer there, I don't know if I saw you did back then, but
But I did that production, yes.
um, what do you need to do on stage as a production company as Sally being? Is that just learn your dance and do that well, or is that also being involved in what headpieces you have, how the lighting is going to be, or
Well, for that
something else?
production, I was dancing with the yellow present,
Okay.
which was the biggest one. I don't know if you remember. There was like
Yeah, there
all
were three
normal
sides.
ones,
Yeah,
and then there was like a huge one,
yeah,
and that was intense. First of all, because it was super warm, like you're wearing a suit, like sort of a pajama kind of
yeah.
thing, and then this big headpiece in your head, and yeah, of course we only learn the steps, but in order for it to, the steps are meant to be understood and to give already a reason to, like if you're getting closer to someone, how do you get close to that someone in order for people to understand what you're meaning. So yeah, you do need to learn the steps, but also then you need to interpret them. So yeah, but this in general with Sally, I have to say, overall in their productions there is the dancing side, which is very physical, but it's also the emotional side. You need to, we work a lot into being in the moment. If you're ever doing an action, mean it, like almost acting, like, but not overacting. Just be there. Okay, what do I want to say? I need to literally think about that before I take any action. And
But
that's,
walking with that big box on your head, it's like even
yeah.
more exaggerating, more
But that was
make it even bigger.
I don't know. The only thing I remember is that as soon as you would turn your head, you actually had to rotate it the other way because they would just keep going. Like, you know, if you just do one movement, your head is going to keep moving in that direction. Yeah. That was something, man. Yeah. I'm glad we don't do it again, actually.
Who knows? Maybe it can work. No,
Maybe after seeing this video, my director is going to come. Oh, maybe this year we're going to do it again.
no,
I'm like,
no.
yeah.
That's no. It's almost December, so no, let's not do that. Um, but more as in how do you work together? I mean, the dancers on stage I might understand a little bit, but how does a production works in Dansgezelschap?
Yeah, so there's it depends what you're doing. If you're doing a creation, so you're creating something from scratch, or you're doing a reprise of something, so you're taking an old show and they want to present it again, or maybe like what's happening now, we are recreating an existing piece but changing it.
Okay.
So it depends. When it's a creation, the whole process, I mean, it takes 2-3 months to create a show. And
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of research, movement research, behind the scenes. What the dancers don't do and the choreographers do is already think about what they want to say, gather images, musics, ideas, and then talk to us about it and try to figure out what the piece is gonna be like. One main thing about Sally is that we almost in every performance we use lots of decor,
Mm-hmm.
which already helps set a line because you probably are gonna have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it also can sometimes it limits your possibilities. So it's a you know a balanced situation. And yeah, sometimes the choreographer comes with very clear ideas. Some other times he's gonna make the dancers create some more material to be used, and then it's a puzzle. Try to find what works, what not works, what doesn't work, and put it together in order to create that image that the choreographer had envisioned at the beginning.
But that's from scratch, and you said that's 2-3 months of
Yeah,
making it.
yeah,
Is that also the rehearsals and getting it on stage,
yeah.
or is it just like
That's rehearsals. That's
okay,
rehearsals with
okay,
dancers. Usually 2 months, yeah, 2, 3, depending on the production. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and that's if it's from scratch. If it's from not coming from nowhere and it's a new thing, then yeah, you need to invest time in it. And we have tryouts also with the audience for the targeted audience. Also because Sally creates performances not only for adults but also for kids from 4 years old, teenagers. I mean everything, all kinds of audiences.
Yeah, but different performances for
Yes,
each group.
families, only schools. There's some productions that only go into literally inside the schools to perform. So then we also invite the targeted audience to come and watch, and so we can hear the feedback of the kids or the adults or whoever is gonna be the audience in order to adjust it. So that's lots of work going
But how
behind the
many
scenes.
productions in a year, like example this year,
This year
do
is
you have?
crazy. This year we are the company is so we started off with Kai Hart,
Yeah.
the performance you saw and you took pictures of, uh, which was a roller coaster because that's the performance we created last year. And we had a month of holidays. And then I think we had 6 days of rehearsals. And then they throw us on stage for 4 days in 4 different festivals.
Yeah. Yeah, the Limburg Festival, Zoonparkfeest.
Twice Limburg
Yeah.
Festival, one in Roermond on a theater, one in Weert in a church. Then the Zomerpark festival scene, which we were scared as hell for that because you don't know what audience is gonna come in. Like
Families,
that, but
mostly.
we didn't know.
No,
Like
no.
and maybe there's some people that can be drunk,
Yeah.
some students that just want to party. We didn't know. It was great. And then also the day after, we performed in IBE,
Yeah.
International
Heerlen.
Breakdance event in
Yes.
Heerlen, which was another crazy thing. Yeah, someone probably leaving their office.
Oh, yeah, no problem. No problem.
And that was very interesting because we had next to it. I mean, there were two tents next to each other, and one it was they were doing I think battles, hip hop, voguing, whatever battles, and then it was us. But of course, if people wanted to see something walking by, they would go to the battles that were constantly happening and
Mm-hmm.
not to us. But then at one point they had the finale of the battle, and we took the chance as soon as they were done to actually start the show, and it was incredible. I mean, you saw the setting of Kai Hart,
Yes. Yeah.
and I think it was perfect for that event also because it kind of gave the battle feeling, like people sitting around the stage and just people dancing in it.
But in my head, the Limburg Festival are mainly older people,
Yeah,
like 50 plus.
yeah,
Then you have the Zomerparkfeesten, where it's like combination of families
yes,
and some youth, I think. And then you have the Hele Festival, the Hippel Festival. That's only
20.
13,
Yeah,
between 13 and 20
yeah,
max, I think. Um, three whole different shows,
yeah.
feelings, and flows how it goes. It's like, how do you change it for yourself? Because it was the same production.
Yeah, I don't think we really have to change anything. First, I mean, the production is called Kaihart, and there's no um, real story behind the piece. It's more what we
It
want
comes
to show.
together.
Yeah, it's like the power of dance and the strength and the passion you put behind it, and it's quite visual. It's like we never stop dancing in that. Also, you saw a 30 minutes version, and that's
No, I didn't even saw 30. I mean, I'm a photographer. I keep it
you were
short.
there. Then there you go. Well,
I
that
think I
was
saw 15.
okay. So
That's
we
still long, but yeah.
that we did a 30-minute version, and usually it's like a 50 to
Okay.
1 hour. It depends. But I think what we as dancers have to deal with, if we talk about the different kinds of audiences, is the way we interact with them. Because we are also doing lots of interactions in this
Hmm.
performance. And how do you do that? Then it's our job to, yeah. I mean, when we were
You
at the,
came really close.
yeah, we were so close, but they were so in the like the arena feeling. It was really an incredible experience, and everyone enjoyed it. It was beautiful. Yeah,
But is that we were talking about how many productions you do in a
yeah.
year? That's just one.
Well, so we have
But
Kai Hart, okay. Then there's gonna be a co-production with Châtel sur Place, the company of Christina de Châtel, who's a very famous choreographer, sort of minimalist, and there's gonna be a co-production with two works of her,
okay.
um, and one work from Audrey Appers, which is a young choreographer who used to work for Sally, and now she's developing her view on choreographing, and then giving her the chance to create a new piece for this performance. And so that's also happening now. She's creating something new. Then we are collaborating with Het Lachland, the theater company from Sittard,
Hmm.
and we are recreating an existing production of Sally from 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was with three dancers, and it's gonna be now two dancers, sorry, one dancer, me, and two actors from Het Lachland. Then there's probably gonna be another Kaihart. We're gonna have to take it back towards the end of the year. And then there's also Sally has this talent development project going on, which is called Dance Lab,
Okay.
and they're giving opportunities to Audrey, which is creating for the Christina de Châtel production,
Hmm.
and then Luis, who's one of the dancers of the company, is creating something now as a research, and also Jennifer Roman. I don't know if you heard of her.
No.
She's urban choreographer. She's actually working a lot in Dutch television, winning lots of prizes around the international competitions in urban and hip hop. And they want to give her the chance to see what's gonna be to choreograph for a modern dance company. And yeah, and next year in
Oh, wait.
2020
Yeah.
we have Kai Hart, Vus, which is a reprise of last year, and Heartbeat. Yeah, there's a lot going on. This year is incredible.
Okay. So about 7 this year
Mm-hmm.
and 3 coming up
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you perform then at the same time, or is it like always ending at a certain point and you go up to the next one?
I'm only dancing in the Frame de Eind, which is the performance in collaboration with Het Lachland.
Okay.
And the other dancers are now busy with the residency of Luis, and then they're gonna be busy only with
So it's always one part and then you go to the next
yeah,
one.
we are divided.
Okay.
The
How
but
big
then
is the group of Sally at this moment?
at this moment, it's not set because some people are freelancing, some people
Oh,
are more stable. But in Keihard, we are 7 performers. Um, but then if we count also the people are going to be, so 7. But then in Christina, there's 2 dancers of Christina plus 1 other, so 10. Then there's Audrey. And then I think 12 maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Now the business guy comes up a little bit. How does that get paid? I mean, 12 people dancing on a stage.
We get the company gets subsidies.
Okay. So it's just like uh, you, the government pays
Yeah,
a part.
you need to apply for subsidies. I think right now Sally is in the 4-year period, so they need to apply for fundings every 4 years.
Okay.
And we also, I think, and then Fonds Podiumkunsten.
Yeah,
something.
Podiumkunsten. Yeah.
But then also they need to. I don't know the insides of
No, of
this,
course, no,
but they will also get, I think, money from the gemeente Maastricht and provincie Limburg.
Okay, and then you get money from the people that get the act, books the act.
I guess I don't really know.
I think so,
And
I think it had cost money as well.
Okay. Yeah, and what else? Where we got the money? I don't know. I really
Sponsors.
don't know. Sponsors, but those are well. We have, for example, Theatranet Vrijthof from Maastricht, who sometimes lends us spaces to rehearse in. So there's also other things that can help the situation. I mean, if we need the theater here in the AINSI, then which is owned by the Theatranet Vrijthof, we ask them permission. I don't think Sally actually has to pay for it. It's more like a contribution to help the company.
Because it's not like, I mean, 7 productions in a year.
I mean, it's not only the dancers. There's the decor, costumes, technicians, production.
It's
people
not only
working
the
in the
12
office.
people on stage. It's
no, it's not.
So it looks like it. Yeah, it feels like it's hard.
I think it's difficult. I think there's lots of budgeting around it. That's probably necessary.
But it's also, and you said that before, you do that for so many different audiences. It's like a school pays different than a festival, I think.
I guess.
And the production in a school is smaller, room-wise, than if you go into a theater.
Yeah.
So that brings a lot of differences as well to get things right and to do. You said Sally already exists 12, 13 years. You have been around for 8.
6.5.
6.5, sorry. 6.5. Okay. You did a lot of performances already then. Do you count them? Do you know how many shows you have performed?
Oh, no, I don't. Too many.
Too many?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
How many shows do you play normally in a month?
It depends from the production, but I can say that my next tour, which is with Frame the Eind, co-production with Het Lachland, I'm going to have in 2 months 50 performances. Sometimes, it's not 1 a day, sometimes it's 2 a day. And that's a lot.
Yeah, but still, it's 60 days and 50 performances.
Yes, I know.
How can you keep up? Is there a lot of training, as in going to the gym?
Well, no, I don't go to the gym. Some people ask me,
how?
Like, I work for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, full time. It is a full-time job. Of course. Yeah. So after dancing for 8 hours a day, you go home and you want to relax. I don't think you're actually going to the gym or for a run or for something. At least I don't. But actually, if I think about it, one day a performance is maybe harder than just a rehearsal, but it's also only 1 hour.
It's just short.
It's shorter. Go for it, and then you need to warm up before. So there's, let's say, 1 hour warm up, and then the show is going to be 45 minutes. If there's 2 shows, that's 1 hour and a half. So let's say 3 hours of dancing really in a day instead of 8.
Yeah.
So actually, it is more demanding, of course, because it's full on, go for it. but it's also doable. I mean, that's my job, I guess.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's like um, you need to be fit for this job.
I do.
It's not
Yeah.
like you can go relax, lean back and perform. Although people can, and that's not a complaint, but some people can just sit in a chair for 8 hours and do a job as well. You don't need to be that physic. That
No, yeah. And yeah, but I guess with training, I mean, dancing here in the studio and while you go on tour, that's already, you keep up with it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it's I can only refer to the shows I saw, so it's limited. I think I saw three, but I don't know which one is the third one then. But the one you just did at Zomerpark Feest,
Yeah.
you do that with a small group.
Yeah.
Is that just touring in a bus? Is that
Yes. We
going
have
around?
a tiny van for, I don't know, 9 people, 7 dancers, 1 driver, and sometimes the teacher or the choreographer comes in, and we just go to venue, like from Maastricht to the venue and back, and that's it.
So it is like the tour life of a
Oh yes.
musician,
Yes.
only not with the instruments in the back.
No, with costumes in the back.
With customs, yeah. Because, yeah, of course you have to bring that all as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's not that much customs in this show I saw, so that's
Well, no,
no.
no, this no. But also there's I mean, you didn't see, but there's another van going on the venue with the floor, the red floor that was there,
Ah, okay.
and all the benches are part of our decor. Because then at one
Ah.
point we built, I mean, you didn't see it, but we built a stage inside, so all the people have to stand up, and
Okay.
the benches where they're sitting create a stage where then we are
Oh,
gonna
shit.
dance on.
I missed that.
No, you should come back and watch it all.
Yeah, but whenever it's around.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna
don't
be in
know.
2020.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere. Um,
So then there's also there's a van with other stuff
Okay,
traveling
yeah.
with us. We did the core. Yeah.
so it's always a group of people traveling around. We now already only talked about Limburg. Is Sally always also performing outside of?
We do performances in the Netherlands, Belgium, and sometimes in Germany.
Okay.
I think 2 Octobers ago we went to Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is scheduled maybe a tour to China. Yeah, it depends.
But then you're happy you don't need to speak a lot on stage. You can do
Yeah.
the performance, and people in China or Indonesia will understand what you're
Yes,
doing.
yes, yes. You know,
So you don't need to have to rewrite
dance is
everything.
a universal language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you perform with Sally now, is it also looking to other dance ensembles of about how they do things, or is always only concentrating on what Sally does?
I think
Or
as
do you get
a dancer or as a
inspiration?
choreographer, you probably want to see what other people are doing. And I have to say that, at least in the Netherlands, the feeling I get is, again, that community feeling. So very supportive. But I do think that our choreographers and me as a dancer, I focus on what we do here. I think we create different kind of performances than what's around.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I mean, we try to do our best, and you also have to somehow create your own language or your own signature into the productions in order to be recognized and be different from the crowd and from other people. So yeah,
Yeah, of course you have to, because that will outstand the rest
yeah,
and
yeah,
will make you visible. Otherwise, it's all in one part, of course.
yeah.
You're from Italy. How many different
Nationalities.
nationalities are there?
I think, well, now we just started and there's not the full ensemble yet. But last year we were, well, actually 3 Italians. In the production I was dancing in Kaihart. We were 3 Italians, 1 Spanish, 1 Cuban, 1 from the United States. 6, and me. No, 1, 2, 3. Who am I missing? Well,
I hope a Dutch person
Now
is a
that's the thing. There's not many Dutch dancers in Italy. Now we do have one and maybe two. It's gonna come in. No, we do have. In other productions, there were also Dutch people,
Okay.
not in the one I was dancing in. Uh, yeah, but we come from all over the world. I mean, this is the dance world in general.
Okay.
Yeah, even in academies here in the Netherlands, I think maybe 20% are Italians coming from Italy to dance, to study. But literally from, yeah, no, the dance world is a big community. Uh,
Is that a problem, or is that good that it's so international?
I think some people that are not involved into dancing might think that it's a problem, as in why, then it gets maybe like racist, but like why are we, because sometimes the people say it, like it's a company that gets subsidies, so from Dutch taxpayers, why are we paying internationals and not Dutch people? But what people don't know is that Dutch dancers are dancing maybe in other countries.
Yeah.
So it's a
Just going
circle.
around, yeah.
Yeah, and it's art in general. And in the dance world, are you're gonna. I mean, at least that's what I did. I was lucky because I found the place where I belong. I think quite quickly. But you're gonna travel like different companies until you find the style you like, maybe the city you're living in that you like, the people around you, how the company works. So it's not only okay, I'm Italian, I wanna work in Italy, or I'm Dutch, I wanna work in.
In the Netherlands. Yeah.
No, it's a bit more complicated than just that, and also sometimes it's typecasting, sometimes it's uh, related to the physicality of the dancer. I don't know, that Dutch girl that came to, let's say, audition, she was great, and that, oh yeah, there was the other one was Taiwanese.
Okay.
Uh,
Around the corner.
yeah, but she studied in Arnhem
Okay.
in Artes. The two Italians studied in Codarts. So it
So
kind of
Dutch
comes,
background as in
comes from
learnings, yeah.
Dutch studies,
Yeah.
let's say. But yeah, you need to be at the right place, the right moment, and the choreographer needs to like you. So it really depends the nationality. That's not set, let's say.
But when you're in Italy, growing up, did you dream of going to the Netherlands to be in Sally? I mean,
No, I didn't know Sally.
exactly. So how do people that are so many internationals of nationalities get into Sally? How do you?
I think the company is growing lately, and I have to say that uh, the dance world work. I don't know if you know, but it works with auditions. So you post an audition somewhere, and people will probably look at videos of the company productions that they've done. They come to take the audition. While you do the audition, you see if you like the work that the company does. So maybe you wanna get in. But then apart from that, there's also, is the choreographer gonna take you? So that's the way you get in. But mainly I think people get to know it through other dancers, because I'm here and other dancers that I know check my stuff. They get to know Sally,
Yeah.
and maybe they want to try to come in the company too. Um, Maybe you watched a performance as a dancer and you want to join the company, uh, or maybe it's just a chance. So it really depends. But we are not like
Not
Netherlands Dance Theater that gets like 1,000 application or more for like 3,000 applicants to the audition. It's, yeah,
not yet.
no, not yet. But also we don't, like, we did an audition. I think we got many applications, but we also invite only 60 to come an audition for us.
Okay, so it's you can handle it.
Yeah.
Um, being so many nationalities inside Sally, every year it goes different. Every time new people come in,
Yeah.
others go out. Is there a maximum you can be in one place for yourself? Is that like when you do 10 10 years in a place, you need to go to somewhere else, or is it like you can do this?
It depends. I know dancers that don't like to settle down. They like to change. They like to experience more things. They like to maybe they didn't find their own place where they belong, so they try to go somewhere else. But I think I was lucky enough to find a place that I really enjoy. I enjoy the way we work here. I enjoy the family vibe that there is. I enjoy the work. I've learned a lot. I keep learning a lot. I never performed for kids before, and now I do. And you learn a lot through that.
Mm-hmm.
How to be on stage, how to be real, because they're gonna, if they don't like it,
They will let you
they're
know.
gonna turn around and they're gonna laugh with their friends. Um, and I personally love this place. And I think after 6 years and a half, I also dedicated myself to it. And if it grew so much, I do feel a bit part of it. So I do feel like this is also my home. So I don't think I'm planning to leave the company. No, that's not the case. And but yeah, at one point the dancer career is gonna end. And
But are there ensembles or places in the world that like every dancer want to go to? So like,
ooh, yeah,
I mean, for musicians, it's the Metropool Orkest in Amsterdam, of course. Everyone wants to be there. That's one of
yeah.
the highest levels in the Netherlands.
Here in the Netherlands, I think it's uh, yeah, Netherlands Danstheater,
Yeah.
NDT. Then I think there is a Scapino, Scapino Ballet Rotterdam,
Okay.
and then there's Introdance in Arnhem, and those are the main companies. But then there's plenty in the world where you want to look up and go. Um, but I personally never really had the drive to go to those places. And I don't know, some people say I didn't dare to, but I do think that I enjoy a place where there's a small group and people are willing to work on you and not with just a bunch of dancers, because those are all big companies. And yeah, sometimes you, you get like people work on you, but other times you're just told what to do and it's just a machine. And here I feel that it gets very personal. Like you can really work
It
on
has to
yourself.
be. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I really like. So but yes, there's people that would love to go to other places. Yes, absolutely.
And is Sally also a place that you can create for yourself, or is always?
I had the chance to choreograph here at
I
Sally.
try to avoid that word.
Create, it's a good word,
Create.
create.
Yeah.
And actually, one, two, I think I did 4 choreographies so far. And yeah, they have this, what I was talking about before, the Dance Lab. It's
Mm-hmm.
this platform for young makers, which is usually in collaboration with Via Zoud, which is another talententwikkeling, some word like that,
Yep. Okay.
organization.
Talentontwikkeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And together they try to help young makers into finding their language, let's say. So I did have this opportunity 4 times. And so yeah, there is also that possibility here. And
Is every dancer a maker, or is
no,
it has
no,
to be somewhere in you that?
it needs to be somewhere in you. But for example, I didn't have it in me, but Sally pushed me to do it
Okay,
somehow.
that's good.
Yes, they saw something in me and they wanted to test it out. They asked me if I wanted to. I said yes, of course. And I honestly found the beauty in it because I mean, I started engineering at one point in my life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not an artist, and so I'm very much. I'm very good with number, like but not 1 till 8, but
No,
like
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
more. So to create for me was always a struggle. Even when a choreographer tells you, okay, can you create something that we might use somewhere, and then I start judging myself. But when you have to then create a choreography like from you, that's a total different thing. And I realized that I I love to work with dancers, and I love to see what they can bring into it. Of course, the first choreography, I told them exactly what to do, and it was a disaster. No, it was cute. It was amazing, but experience.
Yeah,
But
but
then
that's how it
the
goes.
more
Yeah.
you do it, the more I found the beauty in it. And
But you also learn from the people that are teaching you, and you gonna teach
yes, of
the other ones.
course,
So
yes, uh, yeah. But it is something. It is difficult. Not everyone has it in them. I don't know. Right now, I'm not thinking about being a choreographer, but in the future, who knows? Like, yeah, maybe I have a slight possibility to choreograph in Rome. That's not set yet, and it's gonna be very difficult with my schedule. But that could be also something happening. So then, who knows?
who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Making time, 4 months doing it.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
Um, when you say you also uh, teach people
Mm-hmm.
this way, if you go to schools with Sally, do you also see kids wanting to try things then, or is just you performing there with Sally and that's it, or are you also
I'm usually not involved in workshops in
okay?
case they happen afterwards. Um, but I did watch the workshops, and kids are crazy. Like they want to dance, and like they really do. And also, they copy a lot. When they're kids, they copy. And if in a performance there's a movement that was very specific. I don't know. I remember one performance was called Yoke. I would scratch myself, and then the whole time after the performance, kids would scratch themselves. Or we know from stories from parents that in another performance, Boost, I used to jump from a sofa to another sofa to a table, whatever,
Oh,
and then they go back home and they
yeah.
do it again. And the parents are not so happy, but
No.
yeah. So maybe they're not dancing, but moving in general, and then maybe they can find the beauty of dance.
Hmm.
Yes, that happens.
Um, I want to. I had something in my mind, but I forgot. Yay. Uh, no, no, it's more like how you see um, those kids in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
You have gone for a really different route.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you saw Sally. You work with a lot of other dancers. Is there something that you can advise to kids that maybe want to go into dancing or being a dancer or becoming a dancer? Or it's like, did you pick up somewhere something that you're like, oh, don't do it like me. Don't go to the engineering school, but go straight for your.
Well, it is a difficult world. You are never going to know if you're going to make it or not. But I was very lucky to be here. Like as I said, I mean, I was in Italy. I went to the first audition I did in the Netherlands. I got a intern contract. Then the company closed. I got asked again to join, and then since there, I'm here. So I've been lucky. There's some people that try to find a job for years and they don't manage. But I think what you need to really do is be humble and try to do your best, because as long as you do your best, people are going to notice, and then they're going to hopefully reward you. and and that's all. Like,
So it's like never give up and
never
just.
give up, but also like never drama, never put your ego before you, uh, never have like this how do you say, conflict with other dancer, or like who's better than who's better. No, I like what I did is always try to learn from other people. Like, don't try to yeah, to I don't find it that I don't like the competition that there might be, and I don't think that's helpful. I mean, there's healthy competition. I've
Hmm.
seen, but I don't want to be the best one. I want to do my best, which is, I think, a difference.
That's for sure. That's the difference. Um, are there any dreams that you still have, that you're like, I want to do that with Sally, or I want to do that on my own, or
Uh,
is
I
there
am.
any performance that you want to recreate? I mean, that you also do within Sally, of course.
I'm no, but this is because it's kind of the way I live life. I live it usually with no expectations, and which means, I mean, I do have dreams. I hope that life is going to be beautiful, but I'm not fixing targets in a way. I always try to do my best, and I think life will guide you somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm not wishing for something to happen. I think if it's meant to happen, it will happen. So I'm just going with the flow.
How it went all your
So
life
far,
already?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it worked so far, so I'm not trying to fix something or look too far in the future. Just focus on what you're doing and do it the best you can. And so
Okay. I think we're coming to an end.
All
Or
right.
at least I can't think of more questions. Unless you have questions for me, that's also possible.
Well,
Um, I tried that in the last few podcasts. I like to share. That's why I make podcasts. I like to share things and that it be somewhere in the world, and maybe a kid will pick this up and thinks I'm gonna be a dancer. But are there places people should look up, other dance groups or dancers, or a movie that you think it's inspiring? But musicians is easy to ask, and just name your favorite band and that's it. But for a dancer, it's different.
I think that there's what I regret in my youth is that I didn't go enough to dance performances. So my dance culture is especially because I didn't do a dance academy where they teach you some sort of like the dance history and art. I didn't do that. So my knowledge about the dance world was not that great when I started being a professional. So what I would advise is just go to watch dance and whatever you find around you.
In theater and
Yeah,
festivals,
anywhere.
wherever they perform.
Especially nowadays, literally everywhere. Dance is on music videos,
Yep.
everywhere. So I think that's what I would say, and that might inspire you. I think that's where you're gonna find the inspiration.
Okay, so it's not like you need to watch all Step Up movies, all 7,
Oh,
and
no.
that's it.
No. I think if you go to the theater, that's gonna be something you don't like, something you like. But even if you don't like it, you're probably gonna think about it. And I think the fact that you think about something, it's already good.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything
No.
else.
Thank you.
For I will. You have show notes. Everyone that are looking or listening to it, you have show notes. Just scroll down, look down, wherever you listen to this. There are show notes. I will tag Sally in it. I'll tag your personal Instagram with it.
Yeah.
Then you have a little bit of the backstage look as well. And I want to thank you very much.
Well, thank you for asking to be
it's
part of
great.
your podcast.
It's always great to have new things to learn and learning new people.
Yeah.
Meeting new people. Yeah, something like that. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Great place to be here. And good luck with all 17 new shows coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And we will cross paths.
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll switch to Dutch just a little bit. Everyone that's listening, I guess you're Dutch. And for the other ones, sad for you. De volgende podcast wordt ook alweer snel opgenomen. Dan ga ik het weer hebben over Disney. Yes. Want dat staat ook weer te gebeuren. Maar daar vertel ik dan de volgende keer wel over. Dus als je nog niet geabonneerd hebt op dit kanaal, abonneer je op het kanaal, bla bla bla, standaard verhaaltje. Daar ga ik niet al te veel op in. Maar doe dat wel, want er komen echt wel heel toffe podcasts weer aan. Daar ga ik gewoon lekker mee door. En ook de Live in Limburg podcast gaat gewoon lekker door. Dus als je daar ook wilt op abonneren, weet je in ieder geval wat er te doen is in Limburg. En dan dan zie ik jullie de volgende keer. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Ciao.